Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to talk to you about selling high ticket and agency services with Facebook ads, with funnels, with all the methods I've done and I know. So to preface this, a little experience. I grew my own agency to millions of dollars, over 2.5 mil in the first year. I also run a lot of high ticket companies. Some of them do 50 million a year. I'm the marketer for those companies. I've ran a lot of webinars that do a few million a year. Some do even more than that, and that's high ticket. So several of our clients right now, they're closing 10, 15, 20K packages. We sell up to $150,000 packages, me and Ty. So I have a lot of experience doing this. Played around a lot, especially in the last 2 years. Like, I started lower ticket with my fitness business 5, 6, 7 years ago. But yeah, in the last 3 years, I've moved to a lot more higher ticket as well. So I would say I'm really good at both. So I'm going to share everything I've learned over that time with you guys. So what is high ticket? I mean, it's an open discussion, right? So in some industries like fitness, it could be $200. In general, I would say it's something over $500 to $1,000, right? So again, it's going to depend on the industry, but for the sake of today, let's consider it to be a $500,000 minimum. On average, it might be $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, okay? So you need custom solutions. Most of the time, high ticket is a custom solution, right? Hence the word custom for clients, and they often need hands-on attention. So it's some sort of done-for-you service. It might be done with you. It might be coaching calls. It might be you building something. And obviously, if you have physical goods, like, it might not be, but it might be like super expensive, right? Like a car or a house or something, right? That's still high ticket. It often can't be sold on day one. That's really important to understand, and where most people make the first and biggest mistake. It's going to take more social proof and nurturing and case studies and testimonials and results, and it's going to just take longer to close, right? You got to understand that. You're going to have to do webinars or videos or phone calls, application calls, or a very long sales cycle. And then a big thing too is to just understand the customer journey, so all of that makes sense. Because if you don't understand the customer journey, you'll make errors in the way you advertise for high ticket, and it will turn people away and ruin it, okay? So you've got to build out a solid funnel that matches the psychology of selling high ticket, and I'm going to teach that today. So I've done a full 10-minute video on this, so go watch that. But just briefly, so your customers are over here right now, okay? So unaware's the worst, when they don't even know they have a problem. Problem aware's next, where they understand they have a problem. I need to lose 20 pounds to save my health and life, but they don't know how to do it, right? And then solutions aware, where they're like, okay, I gotta lose 20 pounds and I think I need to do it through diet and exercise. Or, okay, I need to grow my business online, I need to do it through Facebook ads. And then products aware is like, okay, Rudy has a course teaching that, or there's courses online teaching me that, okay? It might not be me. And then most aware is like, okay, I'm on Rudy, I think I'm going to buy Rudy's course, right? So often with high ticket, you're not necessarily starting down here unaware. People that are considering high ticket, they're normally problem aware, okay? But then you still have to take them all the way through this. And then when they get to most aware, if it's a $50 product, they can buy first time. But for you, if it's a $5,000 product, they might stay here for a very long time, or they might be in this realm a very long time, okay? So you've got to understand that. And then when we talk about the traffic side, cold means they don't know who you are, okay? So they can be highly aware of the product, they want to hire a personal trainer, right? So they're 100% sure they want to hire a personal trainer, but they don't know who you are, so they're still cold. But then after you've sent them some videos, they're on your email list for a while, they've followed you for half a year, they're now warm to you, and they're still looking for a personal trainer, and they really like you because they followed you for a longer time, you've added a lot of value. And then eventually you maybe send them to an application, have a phone call, and now they're hot, right? They followed you for a long time, they know you, they like you, they trust you, and you've actually kind of started to sell them on the service, and that's when they buy. But you can't skip any of this, right? You see how there's a lot of little steps in psychology. If you skip any of this, then you're going to mess up somewhere, right? It just won't work. And normally, when we look at funnels that don't work, a lot of the time it's copy and it's problems in the landing page and stuff like that, but fundamentally it's like the problem of the whole customer journey is wrong as well, and no amount of world-class copy will fix that if the fundamental journey is wrong. So then how do we sell high ticket? So like I said, there's webinars. So a webinar, like I've given more in-depth talks on webinars individually, but webinars are where you're sending someone to register for a training. They then turn up on the training, and it's like a 40-minute, hour, maybe hour and a half webinar training them with a pitch at the end. VSLs are like a smaller version of a webinar. It's a video sales letter. So it's a video that has like a 20, 30, 40-minute presentation. Like, actually, if you go to my 30-day challenge page, that's a mini VSL, a short 10, 15-minute one, right? So VSLs work great because you can, in 20, 30 minutes, you can sell them on a lot, right? That's a lot more than them reading part of a sales page. Opt-ins to applications. So an opt-in I gave, this is the first one I gave away actually. It was like a free download that goes to a VSL. It had a video placement and then a bit of text, and then to the next page, which would be like an application or calendar page, right? So this is like sending them to a free download, then you have a video presentation on the next page, and then you have more copy and send them to a phone close. And that's the first funnel you can actually import, right? So you have all that and just edit it yourself. Tripwire funnels to backends might be like you're selling a $20 product, so it's like a low ticket. You don't make a load of money off it, but now they're in your back end, so you're sending them emails. They're doing, like for you guys, for example, I'm not making like tons of money off this 30-day challenge. Some days I pay a ton in ads and I actually lose money. But what I'm doing is growing, this is a little different for me because I'm trying to just grow it and help a ton of people, and I have fun with this. I make all my money in my agency. But if this was my only business and only revenue, I obviously couldn't run it and make no money, right? I have staff costs and living costs. So what I would have to do is run it and then know that a lot of people go through this. Some of you will love it, see all the value, and then people with more money and bigger businesses that go through this, for example, might say, well, Rudy's a genius, I can tell, everything he teaches is really good, but I don't want to do it all. Like, I'm running my business, so I'll hire Rudy, okay? So that's like a low ticket to a back end, right? Where you're offering a lot of value, it's a cheap course, but they obviously implement it, start to get results, see how it works, and then they might go to a higher ticket version, right? And that's not really the goal of this 30-day. There isn't like, I'm not trying to get all of you as agency clients because you're not kind of the avatar for that. Like, we work with businesses on average doing 5 to 10 and 20 million. But if it was, that's how I would position it. I would be like, to give you an example, after you join this 30-day, I would be like on day one trying to get you on the phone, seeing if you had a business, trying to sell you on like working with me, right? Which I haven't done because, again, it's not our goal. But if I was, that's how I would do it. And that's how, if you're doing it, that's how you would do it. Another way is sales page to online trainings or in-person events. So you have a long form sales page. Again, I'm giving you templates for that, and you might send them to an online training, which could be like a VSL or a webinar. And then eventually you might even actually sell a live event, and then at the live event do high ticket. Like, people make $100,000, $200,000 at one live event selling high ticket, right? So it's super powerful if you can get people to a live event and then pitch there. So just talking briefly about webinars, again, not going to go too much into it because I have other presentations that talk about it too. But the idea of the webinar is you got to prepare them before the webinar. So you have an opt-in page that tells them about it, tells them the benefits, they opt in. And then when the webinar's live, if it's a live webinar, not like a pre-recorded one, you actually have do customer support, and people normally have like a customer support person on at the same time answering questions, and you can look at questions. Like, mine wasn't like a real webinar, but I hosted a live training last week for Diamond Club members, our mastermind, and they were asking questions on there, and I had one of my support team answering like technical bits, and then at the end I did live Q&A, right? So and if that was me like trying to pitch a high ticket, I would have pitched a high ticket at the end. Next is call to action. So with the webinar, when you get about 75% of the way through, that could be like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, depending on how long it is, your call to action is normally to go book an application, do an application, get on the phone with you, or if you're selling it straight away, it might be to sell a $2,000 program. And you would never be able to sell that $2,000 program if they hadn't watched a 40-minute webinar, right? You wouldn't be able to have a sales page and just try and sell it. People don't buy $2,000 programs randomly on the internet. And like I said, the other option is you pitch them to book a call, and then you have a follow-up sequence. So when they've watched it, you have emails trying to sell the program or get them on the phone, because there's still a lot of people that watched it, enjoyed it, but they didn't take action right away. So application to phone close is like one of the most common types, right? That's what we use in all our clients, really, because you're going to just be able to sell way better on the phone. Like trying to sell $5,000 not on the phone is tough. We have a sales team now that like do that for me because I'm too busy, but for a long time I did it myself. So there's a lot of ways to get someone on the phone. So we talked about opt-ins. So, and like I said, it's one of the first funnels you get where they do an opt-in, go to a VSL, go to an application and phone close. When you're doing the application, the idea is to ask questions that filter out non-buyers. So like people that don't fit your avatar or can't afford it, right? And you'll always get, like when you're doing this, 30-40% will still not be a fit. They might not show up, blah, blah, blah. But that's life, right? But you can do your best to reduce that. Like I said, once established, you want to build out a sales team. Start with one person. You pay them 10-20% commission. And the idea is they close, right? Or maybe they get the person ready to close and then you do a final call. That's a little more obviously down the line for a lot of you guys though. Make sure your like sales script, process, pricing, discounts, downsells are really solidified. So you should have it very clear, because if you're on the call, you know, like a lot of you guys are creating this for the first time and you almost right now maybe don't believe you'll be able to do this. So I know what will happen. You'll build it out, follow me, hopefully get some calls, and then you'll actually get on the phone and have no clue what you're doing, no clear pricing, no, like, you want to look, even if you haven't done it much, look like you've got this figured out and you're experienced, right? So write out your prices, write out your downsells, write out questions they're going to ask you and how you overcome them. You know, write out what you're going to do when they say, well, what can you do it cheaper? What's a cheaper option? Ask, you know, have an answer if they ask you what's the guarantee, and ask, just be very clear, right? So you're established on the phone. When you're running Facebook ads, by the time they go through all those other steps, you're probably going to pay $100, $200 a call and close 1 in 10. So you got to do the maths on that. Like, it's a very simple maths game. That if you pay $150 a call and close 1 in 10, you're paying $1,500 to sell one service, right? Or one package. So obviously if your program's only $1,000, it's not going to work mathematically. And I'm giving you the stats and the data based on Facebook and what we pay. Now, some of our clients pay, like I'm running one right now. Today I'm paying $40 a call. So great. But I'm just giving you averages, you know, across the world. And, you know, a lot of our clients are $50, $100, even $20. But we're world class at what we do, right? So I'm giving you averages. So just bear that in mind. Like if you're going to pay maybe $1,500 to sell someone, you probably want to sell for $3,000 or $4,000. Now you have like a 2 or 3 times ROAS, right? And that's good. Like, don't go expecting to pay $200 to sell a $3,000 program. Like, if you're just dreaming right now if you think you're going to get those types of returns. And again, a few of our clients do. I'm just giving you averages, right? You're gonna like spend $1,000, make $2,000, and that's fine. Like, that's normal. It's scalable, right? So just figure out the maths that makes sense, so you still have a profit after all your time, energy, effort, and the ad cost. And that's now your package price, because you know they're your bare minimums. So a lot of what I just discussed is how to sell agency services. I know a lot of you are looking to run social media marketing and agencies and stuff, and I have a full course that literally like teaches you everything I know, and like as much modules we have in this 30-day, I have the same thing for an agency specifically. So I obviously can't reteach all that in this one presentation. Like, that's a full course that took like months to build. However, I'm going to give you some kind of nuggets and some like starting points, right? If you're serious about starting an agency, go through this first. It's going to teach you all the fundamentals. And then in the actual agency course, if you want to take it, that will teach you more advanced stuff about like how to create a team, how to build agency processes, SOPs, different ways to close clients, different swipe files for closing clients, different tactics, examples. It's very granular and more in depth. But with that being said, if you want to sell agency services, here's a few ideas. Obviously, everything I just taught you works. You can build a webinar out. You can do an opt-in to a VSL, right? So they're the fundamentals that you now have learned. And I've given you templates too. But another way is like live events, and you can host free ones. You could do like free live event for business owners, teaching them how to sell online. You do an hour's live event, right, in person, and then at the end you invite them if they want to work with you, and you do everything you just taught them, and you'll get 10% take you. And you can do that exact same thing online, right? A live webinar for business owners trying to go online during the coronavirus, for example. Run that, 100 people attend, you pay Facebook ad, you pay $500, 100 people show up, and 3 or 4 buy, and you charge $2,000. You spent $500 and now made $5,000 back, right? It's crazy, it's great. And I'm not guaranteeing you that, saying that can happen, but it could happen, right? Those maths, and you've got to test it to figure out what your data points are. A really good one that I love, like if I had to regrow my agency and I got a lot of clients easier because I'm very well known and have a proven track record, but I didn't always, right? But now it's a little easier for me because I have that. But if I had to start from scratch, one thing I would do is 5-minute funnel/website audit. So I would just make a list of my top 50 clients that I want, and I would lock myself in a room for a day, and I would spend 5 to 10 minutes per client and shoot a 5-minute audit on their website. Say I do 20 a day, right? It's 5 minutes. So it's only going to take me 3-4 hours, and I'll get 20 of them. Then I would email them, send it to them on Facebook, Instagram. Of those 20, sadly only 4 or 5 will probably even watch it, but I reckon you'll close at least one. So if you can close one client out of 20 and it takes you 4 hours and it costs you nothing, there's no ads involved there, right? So I'm giving you ways that are even free. So you'd spend 4 hours of your life to close one client that might pay you $5,000 over 3 months, right? $1,500 a month, for example. That is what else can you do right now for 4 hours of your time to make $5,000? There's not much, right? So again, if you're desperate, you need to get a couple of clients to start you off. It takes a lot of work and sweat equity, but you guys have to put in the work. That's how any entrepreneur is successful. Elon Musk, all these guys, Ty, me, Grant, Gary, we all work 16, 17, 18 hours a day. So another one's cold calling and emailing. Make a list, reach out, do cold outreach on email, on socials, cold call, right? So it's manual, it sucks, but it works, okay? And if you have to do it to start, do it. And that's the beauty of funnels and ads and what I'm teaching you. A lot of what I'm teaching you automates this, right? This is old school, but what I'm teaching you automates a lot of this and gives you clients on the phone ready to work with you from a video training that you've shot, because it's automated now, which is super cool, but it's going to take some time for you to get that going. So I'm giving you little nuggets here that are free and fast. Physical mail long term, you can actually make a 10-page booklet on how to go online, sell online, social media, funnels, and you could get them printed. It costs you $3 a booklet, and you could either locally maybe deliver them to 200 stores, or you can buy mail lists of CEOs and send them, right? And it's more advanced but super powerful if you take the time and energy to do it. I have friends that do that, and because no one else does it, right? Everyone else runs ads because it's easy, quick, online, but sometimes doing the opposite works best. Incentivizing referral programs. So we do that, we give a big payout, hey, refer me a client, I'll give you a few $1,000s in credit, because it helps my current clients, giving them some money back. And a client to me is worth on average $60,000 to $100,000, right? So I can pay $5,000 and I don't care. I'm still making a 10 to 20 times return on that. So you can do referral payments to friends, family, people in your network, and current clients. We've done this a few times, when we started, if we got someone that I really wanted to work with, I was super confident in, I would just say, look, let's work for free for 2 weeks or a month. Let me show you what I can do, and then make the decision, right? And you're not going to do this forever or all day, but it gets you started. It can land you some really big clients. The big clients, that's the way to get them. And if you're really if you pick ones that you know you'll be successful in or high likelihood, then you've got low risk, because once you start getting results, they're going to hire you, right? Rev share, so you don't charge a retainer up front, but you take profit. So again, if someone's close but they're not willing to pay, just say, how about this? If we get started and I make you 20 grand, like I get a third of it, right? Or I get 30% or 20%. And now if you make them 20 grand and take 30%, you're getting $6,000 of that. And then provide guarantees. Like, no one does this. It's hard because there's never a guarantee in marketing. But again, like, you could provide we do this occasionally when it's businesses I'm very, very confident in. So you could pick the ones that are already doing well and provide guarantees. So there you have it. There's some ways to sell high ticket, and I'm going to give you, that's big picture, right? I'm giving you funnels for each one and trainings on each one, and then some ways to sell agency services. And again, I'm giving you fundamentals, right? I'm going to give you funnels. If all you do is agency and you're like wanting to go really deep into that, obviously my course is a no-brainer for that too. But after the 30 days, this teaches you all the fundamentals and actually makes you a way better marketer to do better job for your clients, which is rule number 1, right? But once you've gone through this, that's definitely the most next obvious step for you agency owners out there. I'm going to do a couple more videos too, so you will learn a lot in this, but obviously it's just, like going for a degree, right? That agency course is more like a degree in building an agency. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed it. High ticket, great way to sell. It's going to give you the back end. So even if you have a low ticket, develop a high ticket, because it's going to make you a lot more profits on the back end. Hope that helped. Excited to teach you again in the next module.